One by one, feathery flakes landed on cold blankets, sealing 81 pioneers in a tomb of ice. What began as a shortcut to American dream quickly descended into the darkest chapter of Western expansion. Trapped in the Sierra Nevada with no food and no way out, the Donner Party faced a choice that would haunt history: watch their family starve or survive by consuming the dead. This is the true story of how a journey of hope turned into a nightmare of survival. Take a deep breath. You can almost smell the damp river mud and the wood smoke drifting from 100 breakfast fires. It is a crisp morning in the spring of 1846 on the banks of the Missouri River, and the air is thick with the scent of frying bacon and the excitement of 1,000 goodbyes. Right in the middle of this chaos of wagons and oxen, there's a young woman who catches your eye. That's Sarah Graves. She's 21 years old, with bright, intelligent eyes and a brand new wedding ring on her finger. She looks calm, but she's guarding a secret. Just days ago, she watched her father, Franklin, crouch underneath their farm wagon and drill hidden holes into the wooden cleats of the frame. One by one, he slipped heavy silver coins, French francs and Mexican pesos inside the wood and nailed it shut. That wagon isn't just carrying their furniture, it is rolling on a hidden fortune, their entire nest egg for a new life in California. Sarah climbs up to the wagon seat next to her husband, Jay. He's a gentle young guy, the kind of soul who packs a fiddle along with his rifle because he knows music is just as essential as food. They sit shoulder to shoulder, looking west, hearts beating fast with the thrill of the adventure. But there is a shadow stretching out over this sunny start. The guidebooks, the ones everyone is reading, warn that you must leave the frontier by the 1st of May to beat the deadly winter snows in the mountains. Sarah and her family are rolling their heavy wagons out of St. Joe, and it is already the end of May. The race has barely begun, and they are already losing. August 3rd, 1846. The wagons rattle into Fort Bridger, Wyoming. If Sarah expected a military fortress with high walls and snapping flags, she is sorely disappointed. This fort is nothing but 2 miserable log cabins and a crude corral stuck in the middle of nowhere. But to eyes stinging from weeks of alkali dust, the valley floor looks like Eden. Cool, clear streams wind through lush grass that grows belly-high to an ox. But the relief melts the moment they pull up. They are looking for Lansford Hastings, the man with the book, the man who promised to guide them to paradise. He isn't there. He has already left with a massive group of wagons, and the Donner Party, the group Sarah's family had hoped to join for safety, they left 3 days ago, their dust already settling on the horizon. This is the moment the trap snaps shut, though nobody hears the click. Sarah watches her father, Franklin, talking to the owners of the fort, Jim Bridger and Louis Vasquez. These are legendary mountain men, rough-skinned and sharp-eyed. They should know better, but Bridger is running a business that depends on traffic, and the main road bypasses his fort. He needs these wagons to take the shortcut. So he sells them the lie. He tells Franklin that the new route is a fine, level road. He swears it will shave 300, maybe 400 miles off their journey. He promises there is plenty of water and grass. He doesn't mention the hellish canyons or the salt desert that waits to swallow them alive. Sarah stands by the wagon wheel, listening. She sees her father nod. She sees the tension leave his shoulders. 300 miles saved? That's weeks of travel. That means beating the snow. That means sleeping in a real bed in California before Christmas. The decision is made in a heartbeat. They won't turn north to the safe, established road toward Fort Hall. They will follow the fresh tracks of the Donner Party into the setting sun. Sarah climbs back onto the bench seat. The whip cracks. The oxen lean into the yoke. As the wagon wheels creak forward, turning away from the known world and onto the shortcut, a warm breeze brushes Sarah's cheek. It feels like a kiss of luck. She has no way of knowing it is the last bit of luck they will ever have. The problems don't start with a bang. They start with a note stuck in a bush. It is August 6th, and the Donner Party wagons are staring at the mouth of Weber Canyon, a jagged tear in the Wasatch Mountains. Tucked into the sagebrush is a scrap of paper from Lansford Hastings. It's a warning. He says the road ahead is bad, too bad for wagons. He says he can show them a better way if they send someone to find him. So they wait. For 4 precious days, 80-odd people sit in the heat while James Reed rides ahead to find the guide. When Reed comes back, he brings a vague set of directions for a route that no wagon has ever traveled. Now the real work begins, and work is too small a word for it. It is a war against the earth itself. Sarah Graves and her family aren't rolling across a prairie anymore. They are hacking a road through a jungle of willow, aspen, and cottonwood, so thick it blocks out the sun. Every foot of progress has to be bought with sweat and axe strokes. The men chop until their hands blister and bleed. The women and children move rocks, tearing their fingernails on the granite. They are fighting for inches. They were promised a shortcut. Instead, they spend 21 days covering just 36 miles. When they finally burst out of the green prison of the mountains, they see it, the Great Salt Lake Desert. Hastings promised a dry drive of 40 miles, a hard day and a night, maybe 2. He lied. It is a white hell, 80 miles across. The salt crust crunches under the wagon wheels like frozen snow, but the air is an oven. No water, no grass, just a blinding white glare that burns the eyes until you can't see. Thirst becomes a physical weight. It swells the tongue and cracks the lips. The oxen, the engines of their survival, begin to go mad. They smell water that isn't there. They bolt into the nothingness, vanishing into the shimmering heat haze. James Reed, the man who drove the finest wagon in the train, loses nearly all his livestock. He has to cache his fancy palace car wagon in the salt and walk. The shortcut has stripped them bare. It has taken their strength, their animals, and most importantly, their time. It is now October. The nights are getting colder. The mornings bring a rim of frost on the water buckets. Tempers snap like dry twigs. On a sandy hill along the Humboldt River, the frustration boils over. James Reed and a popular young teamster named John Snyder get into an argument over tangled oxen. Whips are raised, a knife flashes. In seconds, Snyder is dead, his blood soaking into the dusty trail. The group fractures. They banish Reed into the wilderness, sending him away from his wife and children without a gun or food. The community is gone. Now it is every family for itself. They limp toward the Sierra Nevada mountains, ragtag and broken. They are racing the clouds now. They can see the gray wall of the mountains ahead, and above the peaks, The sky is turning a bruised, ominous purple. They are so close. Just a few more days, and they will be over the pass and down into the warmth of California. But the calendar has turned against them. It is Halloween, October 31st. As the lead wagons reach the foot of the pass, the temperature drops, the wind dies, and from the gray sky, the first flake falls. You might think the snow is just a weather event. It's not. It's a jailer. In the movies, a snowstorm hits, people shiver for a few hours, and then the sun comes out. But up here at Truckee Lake, the snow doesn't stop. It falls for 8 days straight. When Sarah Graves wakes up, the world has vanished. The wagons, the oxen, the trails, everything is erased by a silence so white it hurts your eyes. They aren't travelers anymore. They are prisoners. The twist isn't just that they are stuck, it's what they have to become to stay alive. The food runs out almost instantly. The cattle they drove halfway across the continent, buried alive in drifts as deep as a house. The men poke long sticks into the snow, trying to find the frozen beasts by sound, but they find nothing. So they start eating the walls. Literally, they take the ox hides that were meant to be roofs for their makeshift cabins. They boil them. It turns into a gluey, foul-smelling paste that sticks to the roof of your mouth. It barely keeps you alive. It just gives your stomach something to do other than eat itself. Sarah looks at her husband, Jay. He's fading. The strong young man who drove the wagon across the prairie is now a skeleton wrapped in rags. They have one card left to play, a gamble. On December 16th, Sarah, Jay, and 13 others, the strongest left, though strong is a joke now, strap on homemade snowshoes. They call themselves the Forlorn Hope. It's a British military term for a suicide squad sent into the breach first. They kiss their mothers and babies goodbye. They know they are walking out to either find help or die trying. There is no coming back. They climb, up, over the pass that rejected them a month ago. They make it over the crest, but the twisting canyons on the other side are a maze. They get lost. It rains, freezing their clothes into suits of ice armor. 6 days. That's how long the rations last. On the 7th day, they are starving. On the 8th day, Christmas Eve, a blizzard hits them like a hammer. They have no fire. They huddle under a blanket tent, a pile of shivering humanity screaming into the wind. This is where the story changes. This is where the civilized world ends. One of the men, Patrick Dolan, goes mad. He rips off his clothes and runs into the storm. When he comes back, he curls up and dies. Then another dies, and another. The storm clears, leaving the survivors staring at the frozen bodies of their friends. They are alone. No rescue is coming. They have eaten the leather of their shoes. They have nothing left. Someone takes out a knife. Sarah watches. This isn't a decision anymore. It's a biological imperative. The fire is lit. The meat is roasted. And Sarah Graves, the girl who loved picnics in the tall grass of Illinois, sits in the snow and eats the heart of her friend to stay alive. The monsters aren't in the woods. They are the hunger inside them. You might think the decision to eat the dead is the climax. It isn't. That's just the fuel. The climax is what they do with that fuel. They stand up. Sarah, Jay, and the 5 others left alive strapped those heavy, clumsy snowshoes back onto their bleeding feet. They pack the dried flesh of their friends into their backpacks like beef jerky, and they walk. They are lost in a maze of canyons. Their shoes have rotted off their feet. They're wrapping their frost-bitten toes in rags, but the rags wear through. They are literally leaving a trail of bloody footprints in the white snow. Jay Fosdick, Sarah's husband, the man she left her home for, can't keep up. He collapses in the snow, murmuring deliriously. Sarah stays with him, wrapping him in their single blanket, holding him as the life drains out of him. When he dies around midnight, she feels the heat leave his body until he is as cold as the ice beneath them. And here is the hardest thing Sarah ever has to do. She stands up. She leaves him there in the snow. She wraps his black silk neckerchief around her own neck, turns her back on the love of her life, and keeps walking. She catches up to the others. They are skeletons wrapped in rags, staggering like drunks. They look less like humans and more like monsters every day. Then, a footprint in the mud. Not theirs. They follow it, stumbling, crawling, until they break through the brush and see it, an Indian village. Imagine the scene from the other side. The Maidu villagers look up and see 7 creatures emerging from the woods. They are hollow-eyed. Their skin is black with frostbite and soot. They smell of death, and they are making terrible, croaking sounds. The Indians are terrified. They think they are seeing ghosts. But they take them in. They feed them acorn mush. It's not over. Sarah can't stop. She knows her mother and the babies are still back at the lake, starving. She pushes on, her feet practically destroyed, until she collapses at the door of a cabin at Johnson's ranch. She has walked out of the mountains. She has beaten the winter. When the rescue parties finally reach the lake, weeks later, they find a scene that looks like the aftermath of a war. Bones scattered on the snow, children looking like dolls with the stuffing pulled out. Sarah's mother is dead. Her little brother is dead. But because Sarah walked out, because she forced herself to take that next step when every cell in her body wanted to quit, relief teams knew where to look. They managed to save some of them. Sarah lives for another 24 years. She remarries. She has children. She lives in a beautiful valley full of flowers. To her neighbors, she's just a quiet woman who teaches school. But look closely at her photo from later in life. There is a shadow in her eyes. We like to think of ourselves as civilized, as separate from the animals. We sit in warm houses and judge the past. But Sarah's story asks us a question that makes us uncomfortable. If the snow was falling and the fire was dying, and the people you loved most in the world were starving to death right in front of you, how far would you go? The Donner Party didn't turn into monsters because they were evil. They did it because the instinct to survive, to keep drawing breath, to keep the heart beating, is the most powerful monster of all. And it lives inside every single one of us, just waiting for the snow to fall.